Greetings and welcome everybody to this week's edition of Poly Weekly News. I'm your host David Danto, and I've got the Poly shirt back on this week. I'll go back and forth between the Poly and the HP, and maybe I'll get some Poly HP clothing. I'm still kind of working on that one right now, but we are still bringing you weekly news from Poly and everything that's going on with Poly. And we got a great show this week. We're going to have a quick chat with my friend Kilani Gaines about all the announcements that Tony and I referred to last week about what happened at Zoomtopia. And then we're going to have a detailed conversation with the Clariti team to try and understand what some of the new changes are and new systems are that we're going to be working with. And maybe, if we're lucky, fingers crossed, we'll get a demo there. So let's start with Kilani, and then we'll get to Rory and Marty. So kicking off the first portion of this show, we want to talk a little bit about what happened at Zoomtopia. My friend Kilani is on with me right now, but before we chat about that, let me roll a little clip in from what happened earlier on the stage.
So recently, I think this year, HP acquired one of our greater partners, Poly, and it's a great acquisition, and it's such a great partner, great solution, and also a lot of companies, and I think a lot of CEOs as well, and sort of struggled to define the future of the work, right? So from your perspective, what do you think about the future of work? How to support a hybrid? What's your the principle?
So I think very similar to what Zoom believes, we think the future of work is going to be hybrid. I think we all have learned that there are a lot of advantages when we offer flexibility to our employees or to ourselves to work from home and to work from the office. We need to learn how to do that efficiently, and I think we still have to do a lot of work, but we really think that there are a lot of advantages in making that happen. And then from us as a provider of solutions, we really saw the need to offer a more complete portfolio on the collaboration space. And this is what we get by combining the technology, the products at the team that Poly had, and the technology and the products that HP had.
So what excites you most for the future?
I think is what I was saying before. I think we work in a space where we have just started to see what we are going to be able to do. There is no limit on what technology is going to be able to do for our companies, our customers, our employees. And if we combine that with the focus that we are all putting now on sustainability, on doing that in the right way, on having a positive impact in the world, I think the next 20, 30 years are going to be incredibly, incredibly exciting. So I think having the opportunity of, in my case, leading my company into this new space is extremely rewarding, extremely exciting. And every morning I wake up with a lot of desire to see what is the day going to bring and continue to push and continue to move forward.
Awesome. So both Zoom and HP together will change the world, make the world
Absolutely.
a much better place. Thank you so much. Let's give Enrique a big round of applause. Thank you.
I don't know, Kilani, what about you? I think owning the next 20 or 30 years is actually probably a really cool thing for us to be shooting for. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting journey, an exciting ride, and it's exciting times for the company in a whole. So I'm really excited for the journey we have set up for us.
So 2 seconds, introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks, David, for having me on today. I'm Kilani Gaines. I'm the Senior Alliance Marketing Manager, and I support our Zoom partnership. So Zoomtopia is really a big moment for us in the marketing realm. So I'm really excited to be here to speak with you today.
And Tony Interbartolo and I were chatting last week about all the announcements we were going to be making at Zoomtopia, but we didn't want to get into any of the NDA. We didn't want to take any of the power out of those announcements. But now that it's past Zoomtopia, just give us a real quick recap. What were the things that we introduced at that show?
Yeah, definitely. This year we did go big at Zoomtopia this year. So we announced the Poly Studio Room bundles for Zoom Room systems, and that is basically our elite lineup of USB cameras. So it is the Poly Studio E70, Poly Studio, as well as the Poly Studio R30 bundled with the Poly TC10, as well as the HP compute. So we really hit the ground running as a team with Poly and HP to have a collaboration to provide Zoom customers right shortly after day one. And then I
Okay,
mentioned the
wait,
Poly.
slow down. We have to unbundle that bundle. All right, so let's take that one piece at a time. First of all, the TC10. The TC10 is a brand new device, isn't it?
Yes, so the Poly Studio, the Poly TC10, it's a really awesome device. We're really excited about it because the duality. So you'll be able to use it as a scheduler display as well as a Zoom Rooms controller in the room.
Okay, great. And then the Elite HP device, we now are going to be using HP Compute in those bundles, correct?
Correct. So not only are we providing customers an Android experience, but of course on the Windows side, you get to have it all. So however you want to Zoom Rooms, we have you covered.
Terrific. Any other announcements out of the show this year?
There were a lot of cool announcements. Zoom had a long lineup of new features that they had up. One of them being Intelligent Director. They mentioned that on the main stage where our Poly Studio E70 cameras can help do multiple streams of in-person streams of the folks in the conference room. And then they had some other cool features and, like I think it was called Zoom Spots, where now that people will be able to collaborate, whether you're in the office or at home, it's really bringing people together. So it's really cool to see them continue to expand their reach as well as just feature functionality.
Yeah, about a month ago, I had the opportunity to have a casual chat with Gary Sorrentino, their CIO, and one of the points that he made to us, I'll have them on the show again in the future, was that most people, millions of people use Zoom. The majority of the world uses Zoom, but most people use maybe one or two or three features. They have no idea about all of these other capabilities, including the fact that Zoom announced this year that they're going to go into email, they're going to go into calendaring, and they really want to compete as a platform. So really exciting times for Zoom, and Zoomtopia was a great showcase for the Poly HP products, as you saw, our HP CEO Enrique Lores, as well as these announcements from Zoom that they're really going to be changing the world.
Yeah, I will have to say, Zoomtopia, it was really cool how they were able to execute a truly hybrid event. They had an in-person component, a virtual component, and it was awesome that even our breakout session featuring Chris Moss, speaking about all the cool things we're doing to really support hybrid work, that was able to be broadcast. So whether you were in person or virtual, they did a really good job at making sure it was inclusive and everyone got to hear all the hot topics and hot new announcements coming into the market. So
and the last point about that is if you go to zoomtopia.com, I believe, or search Zoomtopia on Google, you actually can still sign up for the event and you can still watch those videos. You can watch the fireside chat, you can watch Chris Moss's presentation, you can watch any of the other ones. They're all available on demand. Really kudos to them for creating an event that is allowing virtual audiences, especially for the disabled and the homebound, the people who couldn't get there, or just little old me this year that's recovering from some surgery, couldn't be there this year. We were able to participate in all of it. So great for Zoom. Kilani, thanks so much for being on the show. Will you come on again in the future?
Of course, anytime for you, David.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
So joining me right now are my friends and colleagues, Rory Ferguson and Marty Sexton. Rory, tell everybody who you are and what you do again.
Thanks very much, David. So yeah, my name's Rory Ferguson. I'm the Senior Product Manager for the Poly's on-premise core infrastructure, so mainly Clariti and everything under that umbrella. And of course, the infrastructure that is now part of HP.
And Marty, for you as well, remind everybody what you do and where you are.
Sure. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Marty Sexton. I'm a Solutions Product Marketing Manager, and my areas of responsibility are software and services. I'm based out of Austin, Texas.
So you both were on the show a few weeks ago talking about, some of the new changes that we were going to have and some of the APKs that we were going to make available to everybody else. And you're back on because we've got some new updates to that. And Rory, just give us a deep background for anybody who didn't see that show again. And, in an elevator pitch style, what is Clariti?
So Clariti is our on-premise core infrastructure solution, which provides an audio, video based solution, much like some of these video as a service solutions that are very popular today with Zoom and others, but for customers that need a solution on-premise. And this is made up of a number of pieces of software, effectively, that has been out in the market for a number of years now. And what we're doing today is we're talking about some of the updates that we've got coming out, and some launches with some new clients that are connecting over to what effectively we're calling Clariti 2.0.
Okay, that's great. And that's the major changes that are coming up new with Clariti right now, is all this the new 2.0 stuff?
Absolutely. I mean, I can go through on just a couple of slides here, just what that means. So we do have our existing core infrastructure pieces. Some of these are being renamed in line with the Clariti naming convention now, which is our DMA, which provided our core call control, both H323 and SIP, and also does call control now for our Evo signaling client, which is a WebRTC based client. That's been renamed to Clariti Core and Edge. The Edge piece used to be the RPAD, which is our firewall traversal system. Now this has been renamed to the Clariti Edge, and is connected very closely with the Clariti Core piece, so that they work in unison with each other. We have the RPCS, which is already a rename really of our RMX, of our MCUs. This is the video bridging piece, much like we see on this call today, enabling the connection of our video streams and then to be sent out as one stream, so we can all join together on the same call, 3, 4, many people. That's been renamed to PCCS, which is the Poly Clariti Collaboration Server. We have our previous rendition of our web client, which was the web suite. That's actually gone away, and we've actually launched the Evo client, which we're calling the Clariti app, which connects to our high capacity MCU, the Clariti Relay. Both of those are brand new. We have our workflow suite. That was our enabler for the scheduling and the click to join piece, to really provide that ease of use for our customers. That was a premium feature on top of Clariti previously. But what we've done is we've taken out those core components, the scheduling piece that can schedule with a plug-in from Outlook, and the click to join for those Clariti meetings, and provided that as part of Clariti, as included in Clariti. And then we have our resource manager, or RPRM. That's our management platform to manage all those endpoints, audio devices, everything else in the customer network. And we've renamed that one to Clariti Manager.
Okay, so just for the fun of it, and just because I'm as old as dirt here, help me understand the alphabet soup. So it was originally, well, or at least one of the early ones was MGC, and MGC was retired and became RMX, and now RMX is going away. And what did you say the new acronym was?
PCCS.
PCCS.
Yes, that's right.
I gotta remember. I gotta see that in the timeline somewhere. That's gonna be interesting. But again, that's only for people like me that have been doing this for way too long. So Marty, tell us a little bit about some of the new mobile app that's involved in Clariti right now.
Sure. So with the alphabet suit that we have under the Poly Clariti banner, one of the components is an application. And Rory mentioned the first iteration of this application was browser-based. And so you pick your browser, enter into your calls with a click, right? And so many of our customers also want to enable the personal laptop devices as well as mobile devices. So very soon, we will release a Clariti app that is built for iOS and Android. Much like you would expect, you'll be able to enter with a secured link or a VMR, if you will, virtual meeting room. Once you enter, you can exercise all the rich experiences that you would expect in a mobile app, such as collaboration, seeing content being sent to you, multiple participants in the windows, polling, and such rich features that you would expect out of an application with Clariti app.
So is there any chance that we might be able to see a demo of what you're talking about here?
Of course. Let me share it with you. Okay, so here we are. Once you've downloaded the application, it's really easy and simple to get into a call. So you'll select your application. If you're an enterprise customer, you'll enter your enterprise credentials. Or if you're a guest, you just simply enter your name. Let's enter as an enterprise. I'll save my credentials. I'll select my meeting ID. And here we are. From this section, I can control my avatar, put my personal picture there. I can turn my audio and my video on and then enter the call. Since I'm the chairperson, I can enter a chairperson passcode, which gives me extra features and functionality. Hey, Rory.
Hey, Marty. How you doing?
Very good, thanks. So in the call, you can also check your account. You can adjust the video and audio settings. You can raise your hand to get attention in the call, lower your hand. You can view your participants and chat with those participants. As a chairperson, I have additional control mechanisms such as muting and audio and video. As I mentioned, we can do a chat message to our group and even conduct a poll. You create the poll, give participants a chance to answer the questions, and then view the results. Rory, what kind of things can we do when we're calling not just app to app, but app to video endpoints?
Well, with the video endpoints that go, they can be standards based, H323 or SIP, so that those customers that have already got a wide variety of endpoints all in their environment, they can connect into this this bridged call, because these aren't just point-to-point mobile devices. This is actually going through our bridging solution, the Clariti Relay, which also connects in with the customers' RPCS, or now the PCCS, as we mentioned, the renaming. And from there, with the physical endpoints or with the desktop clients, they can share content and all the extra features that those endpoints have.
Great. And how many streams can I see in this call? How many people?
16 streams that you'll be able to see based on our current solution with the Clariti Evo signaling.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go now and finish up the recording. See you later.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
So after the call, you have an opportunity to rate your experience and leave a comment for our teams. So I'll give us a great review. Very much. Thank you.
That's amazing to see. Thanks very much. I appreciate that, Marty. How soon can people get their hands on operating that thing? How soon will that be available?
It's pending its approval soon. So we should expect to see it in the next, by the end of the year.
So Rory, you were on the show in September and we were talking about the new API Marketplace. How will the new Clariti SDK work with the API Marketplace? What will people be able to do with it?
Thanks very much. Yeah, it was a great launch that we had with the API Marketplace in conjunction with Roll on Cero, and this is actually going to be utilizing the API Marketplace's new feature for SDKs. So now the customer will be able to log in, not only see how to utilize the Clariti APIs and obviously the Lens APIs that are on there as well, but they'll also be able to download the Clariti SDK. The Clariti SDK will be based on the 4 platforms that Marty's already mentioned there. So we're going to have it so that customers can develop on top of the mobile piece, which would be the iOS and Android, and they'll be able to have the development experience on top of the desktop piece, which will be on Windows and Mac. And now they can actually utilize the SDK to customize the applications themselves that will be installed on those mobile devices or desktops. But they could also mix and match that with some of the APIs for the infrastructure, so it could make API calls into the infrastructure to add extra control functionality. So it does expand that usability from being able to kind of white label those applications into the customer or partner zone, localize where maybe there isn't the localization in place today, so they could make sure it fits their use cases for wherever their users or customers are based, but also add extra functionality leveraging the APIs from our core infrastructure, Clariti.
So if I understand that correctly, you actually could create a customized set of calls and routines for your organization and execute and manage and monitor them from the iOS platform.
Yes.
You'd be able to just, it's almost like remote control of the world.
Yes, absolutely. You would be able to with your on-premise infrastructure. So, if you wanted to, you could use the audio video piece, right? And then you could say, for example, add onto it the API commands that would schedule a VMR on your core infrastructure to make an even richer feature set that is customized to your personal needs or company needs.
No, that's really interesting because I think that, for people that need the on-premise capability to have that control is really awesome. I remember the first time I was using a bridge, it's probably one of the other Alphabet Soup bridges we were talking about, when I was flying in a flight and I was connected to the bridge managing a live active call from onboard Wi-Fi. Obviously, I couldn't join the call. There wasn't enough bandwidth, but I was managing the call from the onboard Wi-Fi. So that ability to control, it's almost feel like you're you're the king of the world doing that.
Absolutely. I would say it's a fantastic move forwards, isn't it? And yeah, I remember the MGC. That was a brilliant piece of kit. It was bulletproof. It lasted forever.
I remember the MGC fondly, except for when it needed to be upgraded. I remember weeks of a process to deal with that. But let's not go there. That's just too much pain in the past. So well, now that you've given us even more alphabet soup as we talked about before, what's going on with the licensing? Has anything changed?
Absolutely. And this is one of the new things that we've got coming out. As we know, our licensing mechanism that we previously used is called Flexera. It's a third-party tool that we were utilizing in order to manage our licensing capabilities. That one is going end of life, and so we're replacing that. And whilst we're replacing it, we're consolidating it down and into Lens, so that customers can have that one portal to go and manage their environment, where they've got their endpoints they're going to be controlling or managing, or if they've got their own premise core infrastructure that they can also go in, license, and then manage through that way, right? Which is a fantastic move forward. It will require customers to upgrade to the new solution, and we'll be sending them new license packs as we go through the process over into Q1. But we're giving them a nice amount of runway to do so. We're looking to be off of the solution, or the Flexera solution, by June of next year, which means that to be supported on the N and N-1 support policy that we have, that they would be on those versions anyways. But we want to spread the word that there'll be a couple of steps there, that there'll be an upgrade, and that they'll be given a license pack in order to activate those licenses in Lens.
I'm dating myself again. I feel like Groucho Marx bringing down the bird with the secret word. You said poly lens again. This is still more of what we do, moving everything into that single pane of glass, that single environment, Marty, right? That we're really trying to push forward with Lens on this?
Yeah, clearly our management is clearly focused on the poly lens solution. So absolutely, bringing that all together is really important to simplify for our customers.
So Marty, without any a revealing of any NDAs, which we don't do on this show, of course, but without getting too far into that, what are the kind of things that we can expect to hear from you and the team going forward over the course of the next year or two at a very high level? What are the pieces that you're looking at and working on?
Sure, I think you're going to see even more rich experiences with the management, analytics, and insights. You're going to see a much tighter integration into our service offerings, Poly+ Enterprise, and more. And so expect to see a streamlined workflow for assistance on the support side, and then even more rich experiences with the analytics piece and controlling our end-to-end solutions across all of our Poly offerings.
That's terrific. Thanks very much. So Rory, if somebody wants more information from you, how could they reach out to you? How can they get you? And I have to keep asking these questions again because all of our email addresses have changed.
Absolutely, yeah. You can reach out to me, rory.ferguson@hp.com. I'm one of the lucky ones. There's not two Rory Fergusons at HP, even though the organization does have a few more people than Poly used to have, right?
Yes, that's great.
I also am lucky. So I also get to use my full name. So marty.sexton@hp.com.
That's great. And I suppose I'm lucky too, because I had been working with Plantronics for years as an end user, and they created an alias for me so they could email me. So when I actually joined Poly, that email address wasn't available, and they had to put a 2 after my name. So that's now history and gone. And I'm david.danto@hp.com. And if anybody wants any more information, please reach out to these gentlemen or reach out to me, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. I hope the two of you will come back on the show as we get more demos and we have more changes. We can let everybody know what they're looking forward to.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Okay, great. Thanks very much for joining us. So for everybody at Poly and HP, my name is David Danto. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you next week.